Theranos is a consumer healthcare technology company founded by Stanford chemical engineer dropout Elizabeth Holmes, driven by her fear of needles. To start, a business model describes the rationale of how an organization creates, delivers, and captures value. It consists of 9 different building blocks: customer segments, value proposition, channels, customer relationships, revenue streams, key resources, key activities, key partnerships, and finally cost structure. This model is quick, simple, and changeable, which allows for universal understanding more so than the traditional business plan. Value proposition is what creates a specific value for the customer segments. It is the why the product is worth buying and the how it is different from anything else. It is simply what you are building that solves a need for a customer. CEO Elizabeth Holmes states, "We believe access to actionable health information is a basic human right." They are meeting this need through their microwave-sized mini-lab portable device, which is enabled to process and analyze small samples of blood. The value proposition elements of accessibility, convenience, and risk reduction are fulfilled with this product, as the mini-lab makes it easier for people to get accurate and thorough test results faster and at a fraction of the pace, in a less painful way than traditional needles. The customer segment defines different groups of people and organizations a company aims to reach and serve. Since customers do not exist to buy and we exist for them, it is critical to determine why they would buy. The customer segment is a mass market segment, where Theranos seeks to serve the general population. With just one drop of blood, they easily prick themselves. They can perform hundreds of tests, ranging from cholesterol checks to complicated genetic analyses, which can diagnose potential unknown medical problems and therefore improve their lives. Since the testing is much cheaper than the standard ER testing, such as fertility tests, it allows people to better cope with the stressful testing process, especially the uninsured. Channels describe how a company communicates with and reaches its customer segment in order to deliver the value proposition. It is how the product will be sold and distributed. The product physically reached the customers in more than 40 Walgreens locations, mainly in Arizona and California. Their website could be accessed, but the product can only be purchased in these locations or through other healthcare providers they partnered with. Customers can go to Walgreens to get a test in the morning and have the results that afternoon, same day. Customer relationships describe the types of relationships the company establishes with a specific customer segment. It is how customers are gotten, kept, and grown. Initially, Theranos establishes a self-service with automated processes relationship. The customers take their own blood and the mini-lab tests it for them. Then, there is a personal assistance customer relationship. The Theranos virtual analyzer communicates with the mini-lab as it can analyze all the data the mini-lab sends it. If needed, the customer can go to a physician to see the results and recommend further tests on that sample if appropriate. Revenue stream is the strategy of how the company generates cash from each customer segment, either classified as transaction revenues from one-time payments or recurring revenues from ongoing payments to deliver the value proposition. The main revenue stream is asset sale. Using a fixed menu pricing, Theranos lists their prices for their products on their website and in-store. For example, blood typing is $2.05, cholesterol is $2.99, and iron is $4.45. The company generates recurring revenues from customers with each test that they take. There is no licensing, subscription, or advertising revenue stream. Key resources are the most important assets for a company, usually in the finance, physical, intellectual, and human categories. Theranos relies heavily on physical assets, especially manufacturing facilities, where medical devices, including the hardware and consumables, are made with an assembly line in Newark, California. In this factory, they also use human assets of intelligence, laboratory expertise, and competence to run exhaustive tests from their diverse 100-plus workforce. CEO Elizabeth Holmes' 200 patents that have laid the foundation for the company's 100 pending patents is a major intellectual resource also. Key partnerships surround what key resources are being acquired from suppliers and key activities they perform. Such partnerships are motivated by optimization and economies of scale and the reduction of uncertainty. Theranos has strategic alliances with Walgreens, Capital Blue Cross, and Cleveland Clinic, formed to extend their product in-store. Hospital groups such as USCF Medical Center in San Francisco closely worked with them to gain insight on its lab services. With the quicker data collection by Theranos, pharmaceutical companies partnered with Theranos so they could run adaptive clinical trials to adjust the dosing for a patient in real time as opposed to waiting to change the dosage. Venture capitalists such as Draper Field Jurvetson had invested in the company also. Key activities are the most important things a company must do, which usually include efficient production, critical problem-solving methods, and proper supply chain management. The most key activity Theranos has to do is making sure the testing is accurate and valid. This is accomplished through limiting variability that causes error in general lab practice, such as manually centrifuging a sample. Such manual operations contribute to 93% of error in laboratories. By limiting operation, the accuracy of these tests improved dramatically. Instead of using culture tests, they measured the DNA of a pathogen, for example, to get these quicker results. Finally, cost structure describes all costs and expenses incurred to operate a business model. Some examples are value-driven versus cost-driven costs, fixed versus variable costs, and economies of scope. The most significant costs are fixed, notably the equipment and machinery use, the salaries of the workforce, and the manufacturing costs of the mini lab and blood collection tubes. There is also a continual research and development cost as better and cheaper testing methods are always sought. Theranos uses both a cost-driven and value-driven approach as they provide their testing to customers at the lowest price and the highest value, but at the lowest operating cost to Theranos. Through this business model, we can conclude why Theranos' product to change accessible health information was revolutionary.